Hi, Linda the Math Coach here, and I have two more test tips for you today. And I think you're really going to like these because these two go hand in hand. And so the first one is with your scratch paper. Train your kids that when they get their scratch paper, blank sheet of paper like this, what they're going to do is fold it in half, long way or the other way, doesn't matter. Fold it in half again, and then fold it in half again, so that when they open it up, they have these 8 sections, front and back. Okay, then they're going to number each one of these sections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then come on the back and number the back. And what they'll do is for each one of these sections, this is where they show the work for that problem. Now, what's really great about this is if you start doing this right away, next year you can do it from the beginning of the year on every test they take. But if you start doing it right now, what's going to happen is with their practice is you develop the habit of them showing work for every single problem. A few other things you can do. Notice here number 7. Number 7 is circled because that's one that I'm not sure of the answer, or maybe I guessed at it. So then when I go back to check my work, I have all my work organized and I know exactly where to go to find where I worked for number 7 really quick, especially if it's a timed test. Another great thing about this is if I'm the teacher and I'm walking around monitoring the students and I see a paper that looks like this, okay, what is that telling me? That is telling me that, not only is this a really easy math test, no, those are just examples, okay, but what it's showing me is that this student isn't showing a lot of work, so they may be guessing, especially if they shut down early and say they're finished. So what I would want to do is, that's the student I want to monitor, but hopefully what you're doing as you give your test is you are encouraging students to show work, you're giving them credit for work, and so you're collecting scratch paper and really putting a lot of value on them showing their work on this scratch paper, okay? So that by the time it comes to that big test where you may or may not, because of security reasons, be able to monitor their work on the scratch paper, it will be a habit. So even though you're not able to collect that scratch paper or able to comment on it or check to see that it's being done, the students will think you are, because that's what you've been doing all along, and that's your habit. That's just in their mind, and it's a habit for them to do it that way. Now, here's where else this scratch paper strategy comes in really handy. Another tip that I like for you to do, you can't do this on the big test at the end of the year, but you can certainly do it on every other single test that you do, especially multiple choice tests, is when they have been graded, pass it back to the students. And you know how usually you just kind of go over the answers and you say what's right, what's wrong? Well, instead, I want you to start using this form right here, okay? And this kind of form is something for students to analyze their mistakes. So on this first chart, there's a tally column, there's a column that says what kind of mistakes they're making, and then how to fix it. And then down here, they look at each problem they missed on the test. They write the number of the problem. They talk about what kind of mistake it is from up here, A, B, C, D, E, or F. And then over here, they use the chart that tells them how to fix it, and they actually do the fixing right here on the chart, okay? Very great. Then after they've done that, you can put them in groups. You can do it whole class, but then they have something more intelligent that discussion is centered around. This is really good. You can also, one other thing you can do with this is you as a teacher can tally the problems they're having trouble with and the kinds of mistakes they're having, so that they begin to see some patterns, and you can address those patterns and mistakes that students are having. Okay, remember, mistakes are a good thing. They're an opportunity to learn, so use them that way. All right, now if you need this handout and you don't want to recreate it yourself, go to www.lindathemathcoach.com. That's me. That's my website. I offer a free newsletter that comes out every week, And you can get a hold of this sheet there at that website by joining the newsletter, okay? So you go to www.lindamathcoach.com and sign up for the free newsletter. All right, you can also watch that video there. Thanks, have a great week.